Hello, this is Barbara Ann Rosenberg, your roving reporter with travel and table tips. And this time, we're traveling to Montreal. Montreal, one of the magic cities of the world, meaning Mount Royal, of course, named after the mountain in the city. And it's magic for a lot of reasons. It has a wonderful site on the St. Lawrence River. It is lively, a lot of nightlife, a lot of restaurant life, and once a year they do something that is really spectacular, and that was the reason for our trip this time, and that is the Montreal International Jazz Festival. Now, if you're a jazz lover, you'll particularly love it. If you're not so hooked on jazz as I am, and as you'll see some of our guests, even one from Philadelphia. Okay, because you'll see some of the city too and enjoy its facilities. Come along to Montreal. We are at this very moment in Montreal, in the province of Quebec in Canada. And the occasion is the 19th, count 'em, 19th Jazz Festival. I don't know how it's escaped us for this long, but evidently it has. And I'm pleased to be here. This is a noon concert called Sarumbon. They have a concert every half hour until late in the night, and it's just a hoot. Everybody walks through the streets having a good time decorously. There are balloons and there's all kinds of festivity. There are places to eat outside on the grounds of the festival, and then of course there are events inside. We'll follow it around and see some of the other events as time goes on. It's a wonderful place to be. It goes on for 10 days. And evidently everybody has a ball. I hope we get invited back next year for the 20th. We're looking at this from the terrace of the Wyndham Plaza Hotel, which is very comfortable and certainly well situated for the Jazz Festival. Most of the events take place in this, the open air events take place in this plaza right here in front of us. And then, of course, there are things indoors for specific concerts of small groups. And then tonight, there's going to be a great big gospel concert with Queen Esther. And we'll see whatever we see. You'll see a good part of it. And here we are with a great old-fashioned, if you want to call it that, just brass and drums, and moved some people from the audience so much that they're up there dancing up a storm and having a great time. The Street Nicks, Streetnix. Well, that's an unusual name for a jazz group, but boy, are they good. And this is Jennifer Bell, who, as you can see, is a sax player for the Street Nicks. Tell me, where do you come from, Jennifer?
We come from right here in Montreal.
Right here in Montreal. Sure sounds like it's New York street corner or Philadelphia.
Well, we enjoy what we do. We always like festival time. This is actually our 12th consecutive year here at the Montreal Jazz
You must have started when you were 2.
Oh, no, no, I'm a little older than I look, I'm afraid to say.
Well, I must tell you, it has been an enjoyable experience being here for the Street Nicks. You've been playing together a long time, longer than the 12 years?
No, the group was formed actually about 12 years ago with the intention of trying to work here at the Jazz Festival, and we've kept it going ever since, and we've expanded our horizons, and we've performed all over North America and Europe and Mexico. We've really had a great time with this band.
Well, I hope you'll come to Philadelphia, and otherwise I'm going to take a CD home so people can hear you.
We'd love to come to Philadelphia. We'd absolutely love it. Maybe we can do something next year.
I hope so.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, look at this crowd. Now, you saw the Jazz Festival in the morning when there were some people milling around. But look at this crowd. This is here for one of the major events, maybe the major event of the whole festival. And it is Queen Esther and the gospel group from New York. Look at this packed group. They're perfectly well behaved, and this is pretty typical of what happens in Quebec, in Montreal and the city of Quebec. We were there for a music festival a couple of years ago. People behave themselves. It's amazing and wonderful. The person the crowd has been waiting for, Queen Esther herself. And you can hear the excitement. This is a solid mass of people about 6 blocks long and 2 or 3 blocks wide. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. Maybe Times Square on New Year's Eve, or maybe the 4th of July down at Penn's Landing. This is the old City Hall of Montreal. Although it's a 19th century building looking a lot like Philadelphia's City Hall, as you can see, it is in the heart of the old city, which was founded in 1642. So we're in a really old town, and we're going to walk down through the streets of the oldest part of the town. So come with me, and we'll go take a look. And this is the famous Place Jacques Cartier, named for the explorer, not for the jeweler. And as you can see, there's one little restaurant after another, a little bistro, and everybody comes here to have fun long into the night. It's great fun. It's very lively. It starts out lively. It's about noontime now, and it stays lively long into the night. This is sort of like a French Greenwich Village, as you can see, or South Street. They have musicians, they have artists, they have people who do face painting. There's everything here in the old part of Montreal. And as I said, there are street artists and little better artists. There are photographers. And this is typical of one of the little tiny streets. Could be Paris, could be Montreal, but then Montreal is Paris on this side of the Atlantic. And this outstanding piece of architecture that looks like it could be the capital of the whole country is called the Bon Séjour Market, and it's been any number of things. And right next door is a hotel where Charles Dickens stayed when he came over here. Dickens seemed to like this part of the world. I don't blame him. It's very romantic and very beautiful. And just in case you think Montreal is very different from other places, they have a selection of t-shirts that'll knock your socks off. Look at these, aren't they pretty? And then of course they have the one for the Jazz Festival, which is stunning. I don't know whether you've seen that yet, but if not, I'll show it to you. I'll put it on my bod and you can see it there. And here are real sidewalk cafes, not ones underneath, but just under little umbrellas, and right out, not on the sidewalk, but actually on this narrow little street, which is charming and looks exactly like Paris. And just in case you think everything is French in Montreal, it's not. In this very French old building, again, that looks like Paris, here's the Casa de Fajitas, a Mexican restaurant bar. And I think it'd be kind of fun to have a margarita sitting here in this very French enclave. The people who are sitting out there seem to be enjoying it. Last time I was in Montreal, I had the pleasure of eating in this very French restaurant. Claude Postel, he's classically trained, and the food tastes like it. As you can see, the French flag is flying out here. Make no mistake about it. This is about as French as it gets. And here we are sort of on the heart, but at least on the pedestrian street of Chinatown in Montreal. Interestingly enough, they have primarily Szechuan and Peking foods rather than Cantonese, which is more usual in Philadelphia and in our part of the world, but here they have Peking and Szechuan. Are you from Szechuan, sir?
I'm from Hong Kong, ma'am.
You're from Hong Kong. Will you come and talk to me for a minute?
I have to work, I'm sorry.
Just for a minute? On for cable TV in Philadelphia? Will you? No? Hello, sir. I'm in the Nanking restaurant in the heart of Chinatown in Montreal. And I'm going to be talking to the proprietor of this Nanking restaurant. Let me ask him a few questions. How long have you been in Montreal?
Oh, almost 30 years.
Where did you come from?
Come from Hong Kong.
From Hong Kong. And how did you get the idea to start this wonderful Nanking restaurant?
Oh, it's been from generations.
The family?
Family has been owning this restaurant for quite a while.
Well, I must tell you, the restaurant is a buffet, but not like the ones we have in Philadelphia where you weigh what you eat. Here you can sit down and probably eat and eat and eat, and some people do that.
Sure. Yeah, they enjoy themselves. You know, this is the newest trend of our Canadian business.
Well, it's a wonderful place to have lunch or dinner, I'm sure. I'm very full, and I ate delicious things, starting with dim sum. I suppose I could have had soup as well, and great sticky rice, and all kinds of noodles and pork and shrimp. What else? What are you particularly proud of?
Well, I'm proud of everything in our buffet table. You know, we have a good team here, you know, do a very nice presentation for our customer to enjoy all the meal what we have in here.
And where are your chefs from?
Some of them is from Hong Kong, some of them is from China, and some of them is trained by our own staff in the restaurant.
I see. I notice here in Chinatown in Montreal that there are a lot of restaurants that have Szechuan and Peking food. Yours seems to be more like Cantonese, am I correct?
Yeah, Yeah, we do. Because in Cantonese, there we have so many way of doing the cooking. We have steam, we have fry, we have deep fry, and then we have stir fry, and then you have steam and fry together. But consider the other type of food in Cantonese, mostly of them they are deep fry or hot and spicy.
Or you mean Szechuan or?
One, like, in Cantonese you could do hot and spicy, and many way you want to do it. So that's why we prefer more on the Cantonese side. There's more gourmet into Cantonese.
I think it's the best food in China.
Well, I guess so. Yeah. That's why people come all over the world to try the Cantonese food. When you go to China, you go to Canton. That's why they say, to live in Canton and to eat in Canton, our Chinese way.
I've been there, so thank you. Tell me your name again.
My name is Ricky Wong.
Ricky Wong.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to have you both here.
Thank you.
Have a pleasant stay in Montreal.
Philadelphia, we have a very good Chinatown, but this is unusual, really.
Yeah, there's something new, So,
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Well, this is something that's unique, or at least that I haven't seen it in Philadelphia. Maybe they have them in New York. This is a Chinese pharmacy, and what it says here is they dispense medicines all the time. They speak French, English, and 6 Chinese dialects. I'm interested to see what kind of herbs and so forth they dispense. I'm sure it's regular medicine, Western medicine. Let's go see what some of the Eastern medicines are. Well, like pharmacies everywhere, this one has souvenirs as well, only more of them. It has Chinese souvenirs and Canadian souvenirs, and I don't see any medicines yet, but maybe the souvenirs are supposed to make you feel good enough. There's Bengay, and there's Contact, and I wasn't thinking of these as Oriental medicines. Drixerol, Dayquil, I suppose Claritin. Let's go see if there's more that's Oriental. Well, there's something called Tianqi powder boiled and Tianqi powder raw. I guess you have to know what they are. And here's something that has your brain on it. It says effective for your brain. Cerebral tonic pills. And I guess if you know what they're for, it's a good idea to come and get them. Now, standing here with me today is John Bember from Philadelphia, who's been coming to this jazz festival for many years. How long have you been coming, John?
For the past 10 years.
Past 10 years. What keeps you coming back?
Oh, the splendor of jazz. I'm a jazz enthusiast. I've been enjoying jazz all my life, ever since a teenager. I used to go to the old Philadelphia jazz spots. Showboat, Pep Bar, Zanzibar Blue, all of the spots in Philadelphia, New York, Birdland, you name it. So I follow the jazz. It's part of my life.
Part of mine too. I've been to all those places you talk about.
Wonderful.
So, John, 10 years. You live in Philadelphia. You want to tell the crowd in Philadelphia where you come from?
Yes, I'm in Philadelphia in the Overbrook area. Winfield Overbrook.
And he comes all the way to Montreal every year for 10 years. Now, what we are listening to right now is Igor Rill, and this group comes from Russia. Russia, can you believe it? This sounds like plain old good American jazz, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the true form of American art. As you can see, it's expressed all over the world. Here we have Russian musicians who are playing our jazz, American jazz, straight ahead, and they are swinging.
They are really swinging,
Yeah.
and the crowd seems to love them.
Yeah, enthusiastic.
Well, we're at a restaurant called Tokay. Has a great reputation. As a matter of fact, Gourmet Magazine selected it as the best in Montreal. And here is one of the owners. Your name is?
Lamarche.
Yes. And how long have you been, how long has the restaurant open?
5 years now, yes.
And the first time you've been here, shame on us.
It's good, it's perfect.
And we're having Arctic char, just a few little appetizers. Arctic char, and second, the chef tells us, is a crab spring roll.
Yes, snow crab spring roll. It's coming from north of the province.
And it has yellow pepper and mint oil.
Exactly, yes.
And this is tuna. Beautiful tuna with a little bit of eggplant caviar. We're going on to great things, I can tell. And I look forward to talking with you again a little later in our meal. This is simply lovely.
Yes, and I wish you bon appétit.
Merci.
Bienvenue.
Here in Tokay restaurant, I'm sitting with the chef, Norman Laprise, like surprise, only this is Laprise, who has won every award here in Montreal, including Gourmet Magazine said he was the best restaurant in
Montreal.
in Montreal.
Yeah, the second in the Quebec country.
Are
Yeah.
you from Quebec?
Yeah, I'm from Quebec. I'm from Kamouraska, back of St. Lawrence River, and I studied in Quebec City. And now it's a long 13 years, 15 years. I'm working in Montreal.
Which other restaurants did you work at?
Oh, I work in Quebec City at Marie Clarisse and La Closerie from with Jacques Lepluard. He's the chef. He's my chef mate d'apprentissage. And I work in Montreal at the Hôtel La Montagne, and I work in France at Dijon at the Relais Château Jean-Pierre Biou at l'Hôtel de la Cloche. And I travel a lot. I work at the Hotel Okura at Tokyo in Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, I see the Japanese influence.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Your little wonderful piece of tuna.
Tuna,
has,
tempura tuna.
Has the
It's wrapped with a nori and with a
Wrapped
tempura
with
batter.
nori, yes.
But I serve with a little bit more European. This is a eggplant caviar. I serve.
it's a mélange.
Yeah, it's a mix of taste. Taste about in the world. But I respect everything is very important. Taste. The eggplant taste, the eggplant, and the tuna. I like to stay very simple with the taste, but I like to mix a lot of flavor.
But there's a purity also. Everything, it's not just mixed up, it's pure.
Yeah, it's very important for me.
Very important. Now, next time we'll see you in New York. He's just opened a restaurant in New York, and it's going to be a smash too, I think.
Yeah, but now it just opened. It's 1 month ago. It's open now. There is a Cena with the owner of Zoe, Talia and Stephen Lofredo. And I'm very happy now with the team. I have a good team. I have a chef de cuisine, Ralph Cottle, working very strong. And I'm very happy with that.
I'm thrilled to find you here. I thought you were going to be in New York and we were going to miss you. But I'm delighted to be here. Norman Laprise.
Thank you. But I'm sharing my time a lot, but it's a very nice experience for me. But I'm sharing my time with New York and here. And for now, it's just 1 hour by flight. And for me, it's fun. It's a great experience now.
It's lovely. Thank you for having us in your restaurant. Okay. Now you see what I mean. Magic City. Magic City, even a decorous city, a city where people, 100,000 of them, can get together to watch a marvelous program of gospel. The Harlem gospel singers, who are considered to be the best. And 100,000 of them turned out for it, and yet they behaved themselves. If that's an old-fashioned word, well, so be it. It's an old-fashioned expression. But they stood there quietly waiting for the concert to begin, and when the concert began, they enjoyed every minute of it. We saw Russian jazz, Montreal jazz, American jazz, meaning US of A jazz, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And we ate a lot of very good food too. So, Montreal, this is Barbara Ann Rosenberg, your roving reporter, who brought you table and travel tips.